So Ro James is in the house, man. What's
Word.
going on?
Chilling, man. How you?
Everything's good, man.
Good.
What people don't know is his actual real name is Robadiah. And people don't know that, man. So it's like, yeah.
Robadiah,
man.
I'll take that.
You take that one, man? Robadiah's in the house, man. So, all right then. So growing up, I was reading your bio, man, and the two things that stuck out are two words, rebel and defiant.
Man, that's me. That's me.
That's you?
That's me for sure.
I mean,
still to this day.
Anybody in junior high who gets suspended for stealing the teacher's wallet to buy pizza for the class.
Man.
Was it the class the teacher was teaching?
No.
Or a different class?
It was just, in 8th grade, I lived in Illinois, so it's a little bit different. And so we got, we had our lunch breaks and like, I don't even remember what they were called, but you had like a group.
Mm-hmm.
So I bought pizza for my group. Everybody that was in line, I was just buying pizza.
Just a giving.
Gave away. I gave myself away.
So you bought pizza in the cafeteria?
Yeah, in the cafeteria.
Okay. Man.
Crazy,
How many slices do you think you went through before you got caught?
I don't even remember,
man. They have to pay it back?
About 12. Nah, they didn't have to pay it back, but I definitely got suspended.
You caught a whooping when you got home?
I paid for it.
Wrote a song about it. I'd like to hear it. Here it goes.
Stolen wallet.
Yeah, man. But your musical taste growing up, I mean, Johnny Cash.
Yeah.
Biggie.
Yeah.
David Bowie.
Man. Stevie.
Yeah.
Jodeci. So many, man.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
But I mean, just the multi-genres that you cover, which is incredible, really. But then you grew up partly in Germany, right?
Well, I was born in Germany.
Okay.
So my father was in the military. So that, contributes to the musical influences and the different cultures that have affected my music. I lived in Oklahoma, Hawaii.
Wow.
Indiana, Illinois, California, New
and,
York.
And yours was like, I ain't gonna say a difficult childhood, but military men tend to be strict. But then your father was a military man and then was a preacher.
Pastor, yeah.
Whew, man, what was that about?
Man, it was definitely interesting. It was definitely. I mean, as a kid, you really don't understand. You just like, man, I can't do nothing. All of my friends is doing things, and I can't do nothing. And I think he was just young and radical, and just really dove into it and wanted a better life for herself. So,
trying
he
to
was
protect you
up.
from evil and that
that
kind of stuff like that,
Absolutely.
man. So, well, how does he feel about all the tats and stuff now, man?
Man, that's my rebel. That's
the
rebel.
So he accepts it.
He does. I think that he's grown up, and he just accepts me, and he wants me to be exactly who I am and to do exactly what I want to do in my life.
That's really cool.
That's cool.
Now, your aunt sang for Prince, background singer, what?
Well, she sung Diamonds and Pearls with Prince, and she sung Nothing Compares to You. Ooh. She was part of the New Power Generation.
Wow.
Rosie Gaines.
Yeah. Oh, I know Rosie Gaines.
Yeah, that's my aunt.
How's she doing?
She's good.
Because I know she was sick for a while.
She was a little sick.
Yeah.
She's like chilling, low-key. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Your aunt is Rosie Gaines?
Rosie Gaines.
Wow. Now, you said that Purple Rain had a pretty significant impact on you.
Absolutely.
The soundtrack, it kind of, or the movie actually.
The soundtrack, the movie, yeah.
Because it kind of like was, in a small sense, your story about not really fitting in and just doing you.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't really have the story of his, abusive parent situation, but I think that I definitely related to the trouble at home situation where, I was rebelling and not wanting to necessarily be engulfed in church. So it made me rebel, and then traveling, I felt out of place and like I didn't fit. But at the same time, my mom was always encouraging us, like, be confident in yourself.
Yeah.
That's all that matters. You don't have to impress nobody. So when I saw Purple Rain, it was that story, and that was his story. He didn't have to impress anybody. He was an individual. He was himself. Nobody really understood him.
Now, you must have seen it when it came out on VHS, because you're awfully young, and that movie came out like in '84. Were you a fetus when it came?
I was little.
You watched it from the womb, man?
I wasn't even here yet. I was right. I just getting here. Just getting here.
Yeah.
I have the collector's Purple Rain, because I think that when I saw that, man, it changed my whole scope on artistry and just made me see things completely different,
That's great then, that movie. There's a reason why that movie came into your life.
Absolutely.
Then, right? And it affected you the way it did.
Absolutely.
Right? So Ro James is going to be at Truth Nightclub tonight.
Yes.
Now, when you get ready to do a show, like the day of a show, is there a ritual? Like if the show starts at 8, like starting at 5, do you get in the zone? Do you not talk to anybody? What do you do? Do you take a nap? What do you?
You know what? As I've been doing this promo, I've been pretty much doing a show every night. And even if it's not a show, it's just singing the song for people, which is the show. But I don't really have a ritual, man. I'm very natural with it. I'm organic. I try to have a moment to myself so I can focus and think. other than that, it's very just let's go out here and do this. Let's sing.
You mentioned a few minutes ago. Were you one of those cats who like ran from religion when you were young?
When I was young, I kind of embraced it until I got a little bit older and just realized that a lot of things were religion and not really had to do with what God felt. And I knew that for myself, and that's what it's about, is having a relationship with God for yourself.
Yeah.
And through that, it was just like, this is not.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel right. It feels like control to
Right.
me.
Right.
And so I rebelled.
Now you did some work with Miguel.
With Miguel.
Now,
yeah.
how did you and him hook up?
That's one of my good friends, actually. So when he came to New York after he got his deal, actually I knew him before he had his deal.
Mhm.
But when he came to New York,
You knew him when he was Mike.
when he was Mike, not for short for Miguel.
Yeah. You were Mikey. Mikey got a deal.
Oh man, I've known him before, and then he came to New York and wanted to, just learn New York. So I showed him around, and we got in the studio. He was working on his album, a little contribution, and yeah, we created. So it's a good friend of mine.
What do you think you'd be doing for a living if it wouldn't have been music? What do you think your career would have been?
Man, that's a good question. I mean, I feel like this is exactly what I was supposed to be doing, but I have so many other talents. I'm into fashion and clothes and designing. I'm into like mentoring kids, and I did that for a little while, mentoring kids in ACS and group homes, and just like showing them that they have another way outside of their negative upbringing or whatever. But I also cook, man.
Do you really?
Everything.
You make a mean what?
Everything.
Everything.
I'm West Indian, so I'm Panamanian, so I had to learn all of that growing up. Yeah.
Man.
Yeah.
And you're not heavy. That's amazing.
I run. That's it.
Do you really?
Cardio, yeah.
Okay. How far do you run? A couple miles?
You know what? I hate distance, man. I can run a mile. I do the treadmill in the gym. I try to warm up. That's my warm up. But I used to run track in high school.
Okay.
Distance, I hated it, but I did it anyway because I knew that it kept me with my endurance. So it helps me in singing too.
Yeah.
I'm running around the stage.
Right. Sure.
So.
Sure.
Yeah.
We'll see. It's funny how it all ties together, right?
It comes together, man.
It comes together like that, right?
You don't even know.
And sometimes not even with your professional life, sometimes in your personal life, because you were defiant and a rebel growing up.
Yeah.
And yet you work with kids.
Yep. And to be able to mentor them and tell them,
and
I've been there.
Yeah. And we've missed out, I think we've lost, I ain't going to say lost, but maybe 2 generations were brought up without mentors.
Yeah.
And without, especially young men, we're not taught how to deal with disappointment and anger. Women, rejection, resentment. So the only thing they know how to do is lash out physically.
Yeah.
That's all they know. That's all they know.
Make a spectacle, be seen. Yeah.
And they just don't know.
Yeah.
They think they know.
Yeah.
But they don't know.
So I feel like I'm the last generation before that. I'm the gap, the bridge. Yeah.
The conduit, some professionals would say.
There you go.
Yeah, man. So cool. So what can people expect on the show, man? A lot of because that song "Permission," man.
Yeah.
Dude.
Yeah, I hear.
Dude.
Yeah.
Man, every time I play the song on the radio, I can just women all over town are just feeling some kind of way, man.
As they should.
They so vulnerable. You make them vulnerable, man.
Yeah, that permission. As they should be.
And you wrote it?
I wrote it with Bert Simmons.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, how long did it take you to write that song?
Not long at all. Actually, it was a collaboration, so we got in the studio in a couple hours and we finished that up.
And you recorded it? It took a couple hours to record?
Done.
Wow. Does that happen often?
Yeah, man. You know what? A lot of my songs, I get into the studio and they end up freestyles because I get in the booth just to go off of the feeling I feel immediately from hearing the track, or if they're playing a chord or whatever, and I just go in the booth and go off feeling. And a lot of times, the words just come out. A lot of times I go in there for the melody, but the words that come out. I have a song called ADIDAS, Adidas, straight freestyle, the whole song.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's about feeling.
Man, are you one of those guys who record his candlelit studio and all that stuff like that?
Not even.
The lights are on and everything? Or?
Nah, the lights have to be down a
little bit.
Yeah, just have to set the tone.
Okay.
I don't need like candles and streamers and red balloons.
Yeah, stuff like that. They you, man.
It's just a feeling.
All right. How many tattoos you got, man?
About 30.
30?
Yeah, I got them on my back.
Oh, man.
I got tattoos.
Good. You got room for a few more? Or?
I do. I'm going to get some more.
Man. See,
I'm addicted.
I have one. This one. Right?
See? Okay.
And
how long you had it?
Oh, dude, I got this. I did it on the radio like in the early 90s,
man.
Yeah? Yeah. And they had to keep stopping because the motor on the needle make too much noise on the mic, right? So they had to stop. So it took like 5.5 hours.
That's pretty G. You got a tattoo while on the radio. Yeah. Look at you. I see you.
I'm a rebel, man.
I see you a rebel on this. I see you. I see you. Recognize.
Yeah, man. So, well, dude, man, it's so good talking to you,
Likewise, man.
Appreciate
Thank
it,
you.
man. I know you're going to have a great show tonight
Yes.
at Truth.
Yes.
But much success to you, man.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
That's Robadiah, man.
Robadiah.
Ro James
2016.
in the house.